welcome back to another episode of the Soup Bowl, where we talk about leading our own lives. It's been a moment. I am your host, Renee Murdoch. See, I'm here. I look the same. Nothing's changed. It's been a moment though, right? So I couldn't wait to get back right here, but things have gotten busy, right? This is life. This is just what happens when we are doing life. Right? So a lot of things have transpired. Some big things are coming up. I can't wait to share with you all. I can't share it with you right now. Don't you hate when people say that? Don't you hate when people say that? Hey, tune in. I got some big news. I'm going to share it with you at such and such time, right? And then they take a whole nother hour to then tell you something that is literally going to take 5 minutes. Literally 5 minutes. But anyway, I'm not going to do that to you. I'm not going to tell you that, because I don't have it all together to really share with you. But just know that there's some big news coming around, right? That I've been working on. And I haven't been working on it, but I just finally just decided to step out the boat. To step on water. To walk on water, right? And so that's what I decided to. So before I get there, because I definitely want to talk about getting on the boat, stepping out the boat, and staying on that water. Before I get into that, remember we were talking about, and just talking about young adulting, talking about not being a helicopter parent, talking about coming into adulthood and what does it actually mean, and then actually yet still being a part of our children's lives and understanding where they actually are, right? So anyway, so one of the things that I've been busy with is actually preparing my child, which is not my child, to go off onto the next phase of their education. And everyone's like, oh, you're gonna cry, you're gonna do this and that, whatever. I'm gonna be honest with you all. I have not cried yet, but when I do, I'll be honest and I'll say, hey, I cried. Y'all. I was really feeling really sad, and I'm just really sad that they're gone. I haven't cried, and it's not because I don't miss, the child that was gifted unto us to yet still have for a moment and yet still get back and just render and raise in this world. So she made it very easy for me to depart. She made it very easy. Now, mind you, I do look forward every day to, we're texting and things of that nature just to hear her voice. But she made it very easy for me to depart. And it was just a whole thing leading up, hey, when you get back from this trip, it's business, it's down to business, just sleeping in and going here and then it's over, boo. It's over, okay? You need to pack your stuff, right? You need to pack your stuff because you got to get up out of here. And it was she just wasn't hearing me, right? She just wasn't hearing me. And so if you really want to see just a small snippet, a teensy bit snippet of the preparation of getting her to pack, it's on my Instagram, okay, or my Facebook channel. It's there, look it up. But, she would be upstairs. I'm like, hey, this needs to get done. You need to be packing. And it's like, okay. It's quiet. I was like, you're the quietest packer I know. I don't know why I'm whispering, because ain't nobody here. But you're the quietest packer I know. I know no one, not even myself, that has packed as quietly as you. Well, let's be honest. She wasn't packing. She was not packing. What she was doing was consuming herself in frivolous activities of watching her K-dramas. Why do we do that? Why do we know that there is work to be done But then we decide that we're going to do something totally opposite of what we know that needs to get done, like it's going to go away. Help me out, help me out, help me out with that. Help me out and understand that one. You know you got something to do. You know it. Excuse me, I got this peppermint in my mouth. And I'm just liking it right now, but you got something to do. You know you got a deadline. But you decide to do something else for like hours. You put it out for days. And then like the day before, you're like sweating and panicking because it's due. You see how I'm looking around? Because it just don't make sense. It just doesn't make sense to me. Like, why you just didn't do it? Why you just didn't do it? So anyway, you know, I'm telling her like, hey, what's going on? I'm doing it. I'm trying to get this. I'm trying to figure this out. And I'm not gonna take this. No, boo. You're taking that. You're gonna need that. Okay. You're moving. You're not going on vacation. You're moving. Okay. Like, I don't think you really understand this, but you're moving. And you won't be coming back here, and you're not down the street. So I'm going to need you to take that out and put that in this bucket right here. I was like, it just didn't register, right? It just wasn't registering to her. Like, you probably want to take your stuff because you're not calling us every month saying, hey, can you mail this to me? It's not happening, boo. It's not happening. You get one alibi. You get one alibi, right? Because we're human beings. We get things, you know. But, you know, throughout. So I was like, you can take your mug. You're going to take your favorite mug. Okay. You're going to take your thermal. You're going to take your Kuromi spoon and fork. Like, are you going to grab these things? Okay. Because you're just sitting here thinking that you're not going to need these things. I don't see how you're not going to need these things. Like, you drink tea almost every day. Like, you're not drinking tea there. I'm confused. You're going to need your mug. Because why buy another one when you have your favorite one here? This just doesn't make sense, right? You have like 10 blankets on your bed and you only put one in the tote. Like, that don't make sense. That don't make sense. So for all these years when I'm talking to you about putting up these blankets, your response will always be, I need these. I need all of these. And there's a comfort to this. So when you go away, you don't need all of these anymore. What's the dynamics? What dynamics have changed? I'm just confused, right? So anyway, you know, of course she's not ready. We're trying to pack the vehicle out. And so that's the whole ordeal there, right? So we get on ground. You know, it's just, you know, you're trying to get stuff, you know, for the bathroom and shared space area. And all I kept hearing was, that's not even my color scheme. Excuse me? Please show me your color scheme. What's your color scheme? Me and my roommate talked about it, and so, you know, I like this color and she liked this color, so we just kind of combined it, and so we agreed on this right here. Okay, so when we were back home and we were leading up to this point, when I had asked you about, you know, what you gonna be going with and things of that nature, because I could already, you know, be thinking, right, processing, meditating on these things, what needs to get done when we hit ground, is there things that we could do before we get there, right? That's not my color scheme. Ma'am, This has a big CLEARANCE. Right there. Biggest day right there. That's what we're going for right there. We're going for that right there. Okay? I don't give a hoot snoot if that's your color scheme. I don't care. Used. I don't want anything from Marketplace. Oh, okay. I'm leaving. So you know what? You either gonna be hearing hello, 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 or you gonna get this stuff right here. What's it gonna be? What's it gonna be? So it was just all of that, right? And then, the first day of class, might I say that the chick wasn't in class, like the chick wasn't really enrolled because she didn't go to orientation, because she just swore that her orientation was later on. And although we said something to the little girl, we said something to her back at home like 3 times, like, hey, you probably want to call, right? You probably want to call and make sure that time is right, because that don't sound right. But it's a new day, it's a new age, things change, but that just don't sound right. We get on ground, we talk to the roommate, we're like, hey, what time is your orientation? They give a time that sounds more like, yeah, that makes sense. And she's just stuck on, no, this is my time. This is the email that they sent me. And I'm like, yeah, that don't sound right. Like, you probably want to call. The day of, called her, hey, did you get up? Did you call to school? Because, you just want to make sure. Ma, I know what time it is. I'm going to be there. Okay, got it. Boom, whatever. Boom. Let me just keep on working. Let me just, whatever. I ain't calling. I'm not calling. So go up to school, and guess what? Yeah. How did you already know? Right? Like, you knew, right, when I started to tell the story, right? And so it's like she didn't know, but she know it, right? Like, she knows everything, but she didn't know. But you already knew before I even say it. Before I even say it right now, like, you already know what I'm going to say right there. That she was supposed to be there earlier, and like that was just like some after thing, like meet up, like whatever, with your like mentor buddy, whatever. Okay, so that's like, you know what? So we can like enroll you tomorrow, like whatever. We can do a one-on-one with you, but it's gonna be first come, first serve, and then we can like line you back up on schedule. So we're gonna need you to be here at 9:00 a.m. Right, where you were supposed to be at yesterday. Okay. So tomorrow, they're just bopping around, beep, 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 like ain't nothing happened. And then like, oh, I just need to get me a burger, and I gotta have my music playing. I'm just so hungry. I'm like, well, you know what? I don't feel good, and I need to go lay down, right? So you would think that, I would get dropped off and go, so I can go lay down, but no, not them. No, I want to eat while I'm driving, and I just want to listen to my music, and I just need to, be in this groove and this vibe, whatever. And then they like go the total opposite direction, right, where we're supposed to be going. So for 2 hours, I had to endure, okay, not feeling good, endure the smell of beef. Like, that's just something else, right? That's just something else, right? And then endure her bopping, to her music. It was just, and I'm just over there just, churned up inside. I'm churned up inside because you missed day 1. And you just over here eating your smash burger and drinking your little drink, a little lemonade, whatever it is, because that's what she always get, a little strawberry lemonade, whatever. Like, what? So the next day, it's 9:00, and she's not there. I'm like, what are you doing? Oh, I'm about to go right now. It's 9:10. And you're supposed to be there at 9. It's 9:10, boo. It's 9:10. And you're supposed to be there at 9. I'm going. I'm going to get there. Hello? Excuse me? You trying to get an attitude with me? Because I'm trying to tell you that you're supposed to be somewhere when you're not really enrolled yet? See, you messing with my money and my time, right? So get your behind up to the school. See, they don't know. They really don't know, right? They really don't know because the fact that you just don't understand that I spent money to move you to another state and you bopping around like it ain't nothing. And then gonna try to gaslight me. Get your you know what to that school, right? Just get to the school. And then you want to stay up all late. And then you just want to act like you're just so, so tired because you staying up all night, right? But when I leave, I'm in the bed, I took a shower, I'm going to sleep, I already got homework. Huh? Okay, so you was playing me. You was playing me. You were really playing me. But anyway, so you can kind of tell how. So right now, there's no tears. There's no tears. I'm just looking for my ROI at this point. I'm looking for my ROI, folks. That's what I'm gonna say. All right, so I just had to get that off my chest. Like I think that's like my third time saying this, but as you can tell, it's still there, but it's a little bit dialed down. So can you imagine the first time I had to get it off my chest? So the first time I had to get it off my chest, I was telling Murdoch, right? So he was laughing at me. He wasn't laughing with me. He was laughing at me. Especially when I was talking about the smash burger and the music. I was like, I'm literally like, I'm just like, I didn't want to say I was in hell, right? Because I wasn't in hell. But I was like, can you come and save me? Can you come and get me out of this situation, right? Can you throw me something and scoop me up? Can you transport me out of this vehicle, right? What can we go into the future, right? Not back to but can we go into the future? Right, I just needed that. Like I needed to pull a string or something, right? And then like it, the top of the vehicle will open up and I would shoot up and I would shoot out and get out of that space. Okay, that's what I felt. But anyway, all right. So one thing that like really the last couple of months or whatever, that I've been kind of wrestling with is like when you have, something that you've been given and you're just kind of like, yeah, no, I don't think I want to do that. Can you give me something else? I can do that if you just give me that, right? Or just putting yourself out there and just being more vulnerable, right? So I think we talked about vulnerability. I don't really remember, but we can talk about it some more because it's definitely like part of leading your life and really being authentic in spaces. But that being vulnerable is like putting yourself out there, whatever that it may be, right? Even having this conversation with you right now, there's a form of vulnerability. If you're an artist, whether you draw, write, paint, what I'm saying, pottery, art, glass, even doing cakes, cooking food, clothing, it's all artistry. It's all artistry. And so when you actually present that stuff to the public, you are putting yourself out there, right? Because it's a part of you. It's a part of you. It's been in you, right? And you are birthing this thing into this earth for other people to experience it, right? And so that is another form of vulnerability. And so for me, like I'm always creating things. I am the artsy person, right? I speak through a lot of things, like through my clothing. I speak a lot through the way I dance. I speak a lot through my hair. It's always speaking, right? Because I just love art. It's just the form. I feel like art's everywhere. But to that end, so I wrote a book. Now, mind you, I wrote another book of like poetry like some years ago, but before I moved, and it was just like heartfelt, right? Just things that was just like in my heart, and I feel like I need to go back to it, because that's just where I was at the time. But I feel like this particular book, this particular project, this particular thing that was in me is it's just a different. It just feels different. Let me say it just feels different. And so when you think about being in faith, right? So faith is something that you can't see, right? You just know, and you trust in it, right? And you hope in it, and but you can't see it, because if you see it, then it's just not faith, like it's already known. And so putting yourself, well, first of all, getting out of your comfort zone, meaning that I'm going into a place where there is no sure footing. There's no sure footing, right? So you think about land and then you think about a boat, or you think about land and you think about a plane. There's nothing underneath it, right? So if you were to fall, you're dead. If I was to fall from just standing, I'm not dead, right? I might injure myself, considering the fact of what's happening, what's going on. If I'm in the water and I fall out the boat, will I necessarily die from falling out the boat into the water? Not right off the bat, right? But could I stand being in the water for hours and days on end and still survive? So when you think about, when you hear people talk about, oh, I'm walking on water, or this and that, whatever, because of the parable, well, I don't want to say parable, right? The story of Jesus and Peter, right? And Jesus calling out to Peter, hey, come out here with me, right? I got you. And so when you think about this faith walk that we all are on in some capacity, that we are being called to come off of land, whether that's in a boat or whether that's in an airplane. Now, when I think about the boat analogy, and the thing that I was wrestling with is like, yeah, I'm already out here. Like I'm already out here on this boat, right? I got off land and boom, 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 boom. And I'm going to a different destination. I'm not, at the same place where I started from, because I did decide to come off of this shore land. And so that's what I did. Now, being on the boat, right, there's some measure of safety there. Right, because you got a life jacket, right, and you might be on the boat where it protects you from certain elements of the environment, and there could be provision of food, right, drinkable water, things of that nature on this boat, right, just depending on what type of boat you're on. But when you are called to step out of the boat, and it's not on land, but it's on water, and you're thinking about, oh man, is it possible for me to be on this water and not be consumed by the depth of what's out here, right? Which is really nothing. But do I have enough faith and hope that what I'm being called to, that I can walk in? And that is that walking out of, right? So I experienced like, oh, this must be what this feels like, right? So I was on a pier, and this pier was like real low, and it went out really far out into the water. to the point where, like, when I went out, I was like, oh my gosh, this is so beautiful, or whatever. Um, and then, the child is like, oh, no, I can't take it. I gotta go back. No, for real, mommy, I can't take it. I gotta go back. And I'm just like, wow, like, and it made you feel like you were actually on the water, not in the boat, but you were on the water. And the water was moving, water was not standing still, right? The water was moving. There was like a little slow waves, coming throughout and going back and forth, and you could hear. And so we went ahead and went back. But in my mind, I was thinking, like, no, I'm out here and I'm gonna trust in this, that I'm gonna be okay. I'm not gonna drown in this. I'm not gonna get consumed in this. But I am very aware that there's going to be some uneasiness, right? Like some motion. My goodness, some motion sickness out here, but I'm gonna be okay. And I'm not gonna go back, because what am I going back to? I already know what's there. And I wouldn't have left there if it was good for me anymore, right? So it's no longer good for me, right? That time has passed. And so that is the reason why I got on the boat to begin with. Because if it was good for me and I was still supposed to be there in that place, right, then I wouldn't have got on the boat. I wouldn't have got on the boat, right? So I'm on this boat, and now it's like, okay, come out the boat. Now, why you mean say come out the boat when, I was just like a couple of feet away, right? You wait for times for us to get out into the deep of things where you cannot see anything, right? Other than darkness around you and nothing but water around you, right? You don't know how far out you are. You don't know how close the other point of destination is. All you know is that I'm just out here trusting, hoping, believing that what you're telling me to do, what I feel inside, what I know to be true is right, is where I'm supposed to be at. As I thought about it, we don't really think about how Peter was feeling when he really was on water and he was standing on the water before he, looked away from Jesus. Is it the reason why he looked away from Jesus because maybe he didn't trust, the way he looked away because there was waves and there was a little bit of motion sickness? It was a little bit of uncomfortness in it. And so you do begin to sink because things do begin to happen. No one said a faith walk was going to be easy. No one said that. But discomfort and uneasiness brings about a stronger assurance that I'm in the right place. I could do this. Brings about a greater faith journey, right? Believing in yourself. Believing that this is your purpose. This is the assignment for right now. So I just think about like how much we desire to do or see things or go places or just to, do something greater than what you're currently doing right now or being a part of something greater than what you is right now. But how is that possible if you stay ashore? How is that possible if you don't put your faith in something that you have not seen or even experienced yet? You got to put it somewhere. You have to put it somewhere, and it cannot be in the past. It cannot be in knowing that, if I sit in this chair, then of course I'm not going to fall. Well, who necessarily is not going to fall? Somebody could have came and did something to that chair before you sat in it. But you got faith in it because you seen plenty of people sit down in the chair. So I say this. Don't be afraid to step out into the water. Don't be afraid to go into the deep where you cannot see what is before you, what is behind you, what's on either side of you. This is that faith walk, that faith journey, right? So you got to put yourself out there, trust and believe that if you don't, you're not only going to get stronger, possibly weaker. All right, it is time. We're a little bit over. So, hey, I hope you got some laughs today. I did. I hope you got some good information and maybe just some self, reflection that you need to do even more to walk on water. And so I trust that you will. But hey, leading is teachable. And I love you. There's nothing that you can do about it. And until next time, hey, we're doing life together. Stay blessed.